West Ham United have officially confirmed the signing of Jesse Lingard from Manchester United. Well, for the remainder of this season anyway, the Hammers have signed him for £1.5 million loan fee, as well as picking up his £75,000 a week wages. Anyway, enough from me. Well, for now, I'll be back later on in the video, but let's find out what some other West Ham United fans think of getting Jesse Lingard.
Jesse Lingard on loan. No-brainer for me, really is. There's not a lot of risk involved, is there? At the end of the day, if it goes really well, when he proves a huge success, like we hope he will be, we can look to sign him in the summer. But if it doesn't work out, what have we lost? Not a lot in the grand scheme of things. So, and I think it's a good deal for Jesse himself as well, because look, a few years ago he looked a really good player, didn't he? He was in the England squad at the World Cup, playing really good football, but for one more reason or another, it's obviously not really worked out for him the last couple of years at Man United. So a fresh challenge under a manager he's worked with before could be just what he needs. Look, is it a position that we needed to fill desperately as a priority? No, it's not. But I do think it's a position where we could do with a bit of competition and a bit of cover, because at the end of the day, we've been quite lucky with the likes of Bowen, Fornals, Benrahma, Lanzini. They've stayed pretty much injury-free this season, but if we were to lose one or two of them, there could have been problems. But now we've got a bit of depth. He brings that, and hopefully he can push them for a starting place, bring that bit of competition into those attacking midfield places. This can only look, like I say, it can go one or two ways, but I don't think there's any risk at all, like I say. So I'm pleased, and I completely trust Moyes when it comes to transfers. I really do. And if we get the best of Jesse Lingard, then we get a really good player. I know a lot of people don't particularly like some of his antics maybe on social media and some of his dodgy celebrations, but to be honest with you, I couldn't care less. All I care about is how he performs on the pitch and how he performs for West Ham. What I will say is, we all know, don't we? We do still desperately need that striker. We're desperate for it. Hopefully it comes between now and the end of the window. But as for Lingard, thumbs up from me.
There is not a player in that starting 11 I would rather Jesse Lingard start than, if that makes sense. He isn't getting ahead of Bowen, he isn't getting ahead of Fornals, and the only one you could make an argument for is Benrahma. But the difference there, again, is in the deal. My problem here is the deal. Jesse Lingard's 28, 29. We know what his ceiling is. That one season, that was his ceiling. And he goes back to Man United at the end of the season, no matter what. Benrahma is in his early to mid 20s. We don't know what his ceiling is. We own him. So if he has a great season, we can make a profit on him. It's all about long-term thinking with me. I think we're in a unique position right now where we can sort of afford for once to think long-term, and this is the most short-term solution we possibly could have gone for. I like Jesse Lingard. I think he's a good player. And when he does, it's happening. So when he does pull on the claret and blue and come onto that pitch, I'm going to be excited to watch him because I do think he's a good player. I just would rather have spent our limited time, money, resources, these things that we get told all the time we don't have a lot of. I would rather have spent that on getting someone who sorts out our problems long term than the most short term solution we possibly could have had, especially right now when we are in the perfect time to think long term. For once in the existence of this stupid board, we can actually think a little bit long term, and we've gone for the shortest term solution possible. Now, the mitigating circumstances, of course, if David Moyes said, I want Jesse Lingard helps us achieve our goals, we can achieve our goals. If we get Jesse Lingard, then you back it. David Moyes needs as many players in his squad he trusts, because our squad is too thin and too old and too injury prone. We need more bodies in. Please don't let Jesse Lingard be that striker, because we need a striker on top of this as well. But if that's the case, then you do it, you get it done. It's just I probably wouldn't have pursued it because it doesn't feel like a long-term solution to any of our problems to me.
I think it's a brilliant signing. I think he's had his difficulties at Manchester United, not part of the squad. He needed to get away from there, needs game time minutes. He'll be aiming to get into the England squad for Euros. I think that might be a bit too much. I don't think he'll get in there. but it's a fantastic motivation for him as well. I think it gives the squad depth too. Against Doncaster, we were struggling for attacking players. 7 over 9 on the bench were defensive minded. Really good, can play, covers various positions, can probably play up front, plays in the 3 behind. Push comes to shove, he could probably play in centre midfield if he has to. While not ideal, if he has to. I think it ticks all the boxes. A little disappointed that he's signing on loan without an option to buy. It would have been good to have that in there for protection in case he does really, really well. I would have preferred to see a permanent deal, in all honesty. However, great player. Hopefully David Moyes is happy to get this player in there, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in a West Ham shirt.
I'm fine with this because there's some real potential upside here, and I don't see an awful lot of downside. We're loaning him, so he's costing us, I don't know, is it 1 or 1.5 million till the end of the season to loan, 75k a week on wages. If he doesn't impress, makes no impact, we haven't lost really much of anything, certainly not a lot of money, we can just send him back. If he catches fire, then obviously he's going to be a huge asset because he does have a lot of ability. We haven't seen it for a while and it's easy to forget that he has a lot of talent. But, if Moyes can get it out of him, he can be a real asset to the team. And he does provide squad depth. So, potentially we're going to have quite a lot of games coming because, fingers crossed we can go on a cup run. If we win at Old Trafford in the Cup, go deep in the Cup, we're going to have quite a lot of games to play between now and the end of the season, and if he adds squad depth, that's good. Plus he'll put a little bit of pressure on the other players around him to perform because he'll be looking for their shirt. He'll be looking to take their place in the team. So I just don't see an awful lot of downside here. Am I dancing a jig? Not really. It's not terribly exciting, but it's another player in, it's another good player that we can have on the bench, so I'm happy with this. It's fine, and fingers crossed that it works out, but I don't see this being a disaster in any way. So if Moyes wanted him, Moyes got him. Let's go and welcome to West Ham Jesse Lingard.
Jesse Lingard, it doesn't really matter whether you want him or whether I want him. The manager wants him, and that's what's important. It doesn't matter whether you think he can't get in the team or I think he can't get in the team, or whether we're worried that it might mean the end of Benrahma or Lanzini or Fornals or whoever it might be. It strengthens the squad, and that has to be what is important in this instance. I think he's shown his behaviour over the last year, the way he's conducted himself, what's been a terrible year, or should we say 18 months, that he's got a lot of character, and that so much sums up what this squad is about at the moment under David Moyes. It's all about character, it's all about teamwork, and it's all about team ethic. That's not to say he's all character. It's not like he's just very, very charismatic but can't trap a bag of cement. He can kick a football as well, which is a massive bonus. And let's be fair, the kid was playing Champions League football and international football less than 18 months ago. So, might not be good enough for Man United, that's fine. But it doesn't necessarily mean that he's not good enough for West Ham United.
There you have it, the opinion of a few West Ham United fans with Jesse Lingard joining. Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we'll see you soon.